Thank you, Tamika. Happy New Year to our loyal viewers, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Regional News. We start off in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Vincian ganja farmers are asking for the security of the crops amidst an order by the authorities not to visit the Lucivier volcano, which is in an effusive eruption phase. In a statement on Monday, President of the Cannabis Revival Committee, Junior Spirit Cottle, noted that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, cannabis is grown mainly on the mountains surrounding La Souvière. He said that as a result of the effusive eruption, which was announced last Tuesday, cannabis growers have been asked for their own safety to vacate the area surrounding the volcano. The government raised the alert level to orange for the volcano La Souvière, indicating that it could erupt with less than 24 hours notice, according to the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDEMA. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves said that residents in some communities may receive evacuation orders on short notice. Authorities on the Caribbean island of Martinique, an overseas territory of France, are also closely watching the Mount Pelee volcano there after tremors became more frequent last month, prompting concern among residents. Mount Pelee has recorded an increase in seismic activity since April 2019, the first activity since the end of an eruption that lasted from 1929 to 1932. Authorities on the island have said a new volcanic eruption could be dangerous. The simultaneous uptick in activity of Le Souvier and Mount Pelee is not linked, scientists said. Now for some news in the aviation sector. Caribbean Airlines advises that its commercial service to Havana, Cuba is suspended with immediate effect until further notice. This follows correspondence from the Institut de Aeronáutica Civil de Cuba advising of the country's latest protocols and restrictions inbound commercial flights to combat COVID-19. Persons with bookings to Cuba are asked to contact the airline's reservation, sales, and service center. Now for some news in Antigua and Barbuda. The Prime Minister of the island, Gaston Brown, has assured the Mia Mottley administration that he will not be prohibiting travel to and from Barbados as the nation grapples with a surge in the number of COVID-19 cases. Brown, in a letter to his Barbadian counterpart on Sunday, said that he was, and I quote, deeply troubled to learn of recent events in Barbados that have caused a sudden surge in the number of COVID-19 cases, despite all the diligence and careful protocols that your government implemented to ensure that the virus does not spread in the community, end of quote. He added that the situation in Barbados will be brought under control and new measures will be implemented to stop a recurrence as, and I quote, your health authorities and law enforcement agencies have acted swiftly to address the problem, end of quote. The Antiguan Prime Minister pledged his government's, and I quote, readiness to be of any help that we are capable of giving to the government and people of Barbados at this difficult time. Barbados is not alone, end of quote. Brown's letter comes in the aftermath of concerns expressed in November by his Foreign Minister Everly Paul Chet Green, when the Mottley administration placed Antigua and Barbuda on a list of countries deemed medium risk for COVID-19. Green then said the position taken by Barbados was unacceptable based on his country's COVID-19 figures. And finally, the Jamaican-born registered nurse who created history on December 14th by becoming the first person in the U.S. to get the COVID-19 vaccine received her second dose on Monday. Sarah Lindsay, 52, an intensive care unit nurse at Long Island Jewish Medical Center in Queens, New York, on Monday morning, received the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine that is deemed 95% effective. And I quote, it feels like I've completed the cycle, closed the loop, so to speak, by receiving the second dose, end of quote, said Lindsay, after receiving the shot from Guyanese-born Dr. Mitchell Chester, New York's Northwell Health Director of Employee Health Services. After receiving the first vaccine on December 14th, she said she wanted to instill public confidence that the vaccine is safe. And that is it for our regional news this evening. And I continue to urge our viewers to stay indoors, wear those masks, use those hand sanitizers, and continue practicing social distancing in 2021. Back to you, Tamika.